How's everybody doing out there? It's the Black Effect, the real Black Effect. So what's beef? What's battling? Is there any criteria for rap beef and rap battles? How do we know that the criteria would be? You have to go back into history. You have to go back. I've lived through the golden era of hip hop. I would say that was the times of NWA all the way up to the times of T.I. 50 Cent. So I'll say it ends about maybe 2015 or something like that. I don't have the exact year, but so we have to do that to analyze what does a rap battle entail? What is the criteria for being a dope rapper or a dope MC, and what wins rap battles? Okay, so let's go ahead and get to it. You've had rap battles since the beginning of hip hop, but those rap battles did not entail slandering a person. It didn't entail, first of all, a dude was kicking his rhymes, and they talked about things in the context of hip hop. I'm kicking my rhymes. My rhymes are dope. You don't have them like this. A dude can't I'll lyrically take you out. I do this. I lyrically move like this. They basically were bigging themselves up. Bigging themselves up and their rhymes and their skills and their crew. And saying you can't do it like this. You don't have it like this. As far as in the context of rap. Now, the only time where things got a little personal was with the first time I would say was with KRS-One and Boogie Down Productions. Yeah, you had the Roxanne Shantaes and things like that, but those things also were like small incidents. You had a few times that people broke away from making their music to try to get into someone else's business or go over to someone to another artist and engage them in a back and forth direct banter. That's not like in history. That was a small thing that happened in hip hop. Period. Point blank. Dudes freestyled. Even when we used to freestyle, I'm from Texas. We used to freestyle in a cipher. No, and if it was a battle, it was just battling on you rapping and who went the hardest for the crowd. How many lines could you spit to where the crowd was like, "Oh, that's dope!" Like, "Ooh." But see, it evolved. See, that's what we was doing in Texas. We don't even do all that WWE, all that battle rap stuff. How some people see it, the Gunzo battle rap. I call it Gunzo rap. The Gunzo battle rap is where it's like them slap shows where a dude just stand there and put his face out, another dude smack him with the powder, then he dazed, then he smacked the dude with the powder. Like in battle rap, you just putting yourself out there to be a glutton for punishment. And but yeah, so those type of battle raps didn't come into, that's from New York and stuff like that. That's not a thing anywhere else, like for the most part. Like people adopted that, but no one, like that's a New York type of thing where a dude getting, is down there in your face and they spitting in each other's face, or a dude getting personal talk, like directing those raps directly to a person and and then talking like in a negative way, creating, though people see this, they try to look at this as being competition or something like that. Really what you're doing is creating a negative atmosphere. You're creating a negative environment, and that's the point of battle raps. And I'm gonna get to that though, because historically there's always been an element, and this started with KRS-One. Roxanne Shante kind of had this element as well, to where it's off of wax, to where now crews are colliding, people are in controversy now, You know, understand? And it's not just about the rhymes anymore. It's not, because if it was just about the rhymes, you would get on there and do some things like Kid and Play. You know, you would bust your rhymes and talking about how my rhymes is the best. My rhyme schemes is this. I could do it like this. I could rock the crowd. This is the criteria that if you want to talk about you like rap competition, that is the parameters that it should stay in right then and there, because you're talking about rap. That's what y'all talking about. That's what y'all doing. That's where the parameters should stay. But no, even still, dude, like I said, I think personally, do you see anybody else doing that in any other genre? But you still can judge who's the best, correct? How do you do that? Off of skill, off of sales. Like what are people listening to? Skill, like, you know, what are MCing, the ability to move the crowd, to take their songs, put them in, and physically use them to move a crowd. MC. How long, your longevity. How long have you been doing this? You understand? How long have you been at the top? How long have you been rocking, like, and just busting rhymes and coming up with new stuff? These are the criteria outside of any other negativity. This is the criteria that judges the best in any other genre. This is the criteria that judges the best in any, like, an artist can't come to another artist and then be like, man, you know what? You beat your woman, you know, and that makes my art better. It don't work that way. Only in rap and hip hop, man. So let me continue. So you had that type of conflict and or competition that was going on. You know, then fast forward to the LL Cool J, Kool Moe Dee. Then it's like right then and there, it picks up from the Boogie Down Productions and the KRS-One type of energy. Now they're directly dissing each other. He's calling him a burnt, crispy critter, LL Cool J, and he coming, then Kool Moe Dee attacking LL Cool J character. You know, so now here we start that. You know, and Kool Moe Dee don't like the fact LL Cool J for the ladies, all of that type of stuff. That starts that. And now this is, to me, the bickering back and forth. Okay, so that adds another element to it. Who has the fans at this point in time? Some will say, and I'll get to that, LL Cool J has definitely been involved in those type of situations. You know, even with him and Cannabis. But when him and Kool Moe Dee started beefing, that introduced the element of fan sway. Whoever has the momentum at the time, the other person is going to be the ultimate underdog. And for the most part, in that time, you get buried. It wasn't the time of the internet, so where you could just be putting out stuff. No, you get buried. You understand? Because the fans would side with who they wanted, and you couldn't once that started to happen, you couldn't put out music. Like Kool Moe Dee just got looked at as like the old nigga who was hating, you know, and LL Cool J was on a meteoric rise. Like, he was young and he was on a meteoric rise. So that introduced that element. So no matter what Kool Moe Dee was saying, it didn't matter. He was out of there. Then we can fast forward to the NWA era, where that's where gangster rap was introduced, and that introduced the sixth element to rap battle and rap beef. That is the street element. Oh yes, we can get to that. That's the most dangerous. That was the worst addition, and it's also the thing that gave some artists the advantage. So let's go with talk about the NWA and Ice Cube beef. One of the most polarizing beefs in rap history. One of the greatest beefs, I would say, are rap battles. But let's be honest, this was also a street beef. when Ice Cube left NWA, he knew that they had Ruthless Records, Eazy-E was deep in the streets. So Ice Cube knew that he had to go get him a backing of a street element. Otherwise, they were going to eat him alive. Everywhere Ice Cube went, they would beat him up. They were going to catch him. Hopefully nothing else, what other type of things worse would have happened. But, that it was on the menu. So Ice Cube went and got with those 5%ers, the Muslims, the lynch mob. He had to do that. So you had him going against NWA, a whole group, and he came out with the song No Vaseline. Ice Cube was taking on a whole group. So he took out more than one person. This is the criteria that was going on. Rhymes. Could you rhyme? Could you put words together, like your language, your linguistics? How many words can you flip? The double entendres, what words you put, how your wordplay is, how you flipping. Your popularity. Ice Cube already had people knowing who he was from NWA, and he was actually like the best rapper from the group. So he had popularity, he had the lyrics, he had respect, the street element he gained that. So that criteria, so when he went at them, that was but it was also on a personal level. That's the added element there. It was personal. So now you got these gangster rappers going against each other, and it's a personal beef. That's no longer like a competition rap battle, because the difference in those things is this honor. But you have to have honor in everything you do. It doesn't matter, it's all about honor and integrity. Sometimes these rap battles got out to the point where there was no honor and no integrity. But that was hip hop. That was what hip hop started to turn into after the introduction of gangster rap and Luke and all of that. So it was not a lot of honor and integrity within the culture of rap. Dudes were talking about, bitches ain't shit. Niggas was talking about, I'm all type of gangster stuff, I'ma kill you, I'ma shoot you, I'ma sell some drugs, all of that. So there wasn't a lot of integrity left anyway in those, and we saw that coming up with the Biggie and Tupac situation. But yeah, so Ice Cube won off of his rhymes, the fact that he was the most popular out of NWA, the fact that he was taking on multiple people, the fact that he basically exposed, and there's the seventh element, is exposing truth. If you expose the most truth you expose will gain you the W in people's eyes, if you expose the most truth. And that was one thing that Ice Cube did. It was kind of like a first. He gave you the behind the scenes of the inner workings of NWA's business. And he knew that because he was a part of it. And after that, NWA soon disbanded and went their own separate ways. And we saw the turmoil that was actually within the group and everything that happened on the back end. We saw what Ice Cube was saying was true. So fast forward again, let's take it to Canibus and LL Cool J. Canibus and LL Cool J is a perfect example. I speak on this one because it's a huge example to show you how popularity could kill and squash the popularity and status. Popularity and status killed and squashed Canibus, even though Canibus, I gotta be honest, was the better rapper. Canibus was because Canibus was like one of the dopest rappers to ever exist. Canibus is on a level of if you ask me, Canibus is like on a Big L level. I say, he's not as good as Big L to me, but I say Canibus was a dope rapper. But what he didn't have was LL Cool J's popularity. He didn't have, like, LL Cool J was in movies. He had the women. LL Cool J was everywhere. So he squashed him with his star power. Popularity is star power. He squashed him with that. No one cared what Canibus had to say. LL Cool J put out his narrative. People listened to it. Even though in hindsight, we finding out that Canibus, really wasn't even trying to come at LL like that. LL just took it and ran with it. He tripped out. And LL will tell you that he was impulsive and stuff like that. But he squashed Canibus and stagnated it and basically blackballed his career. Once you get squashed like that, for a lot of time people, and they already was writing him off. So he ended up blackballing his career, and Canibus never recovered from that. You understand? And that shows you how you win the rap battle, because you stagnate the other person's career. If you stagnate their career or end it, that shows that you won. But again, this was introduced. Even them, they weren't putting in a lot of, there had to be truth to it. If you go back and listen to those rhymes, you got to go back and listen. There's all truth throughout these rhymes. They weren't saying nothing that couldn't be verified or true. You could not do that. That is a criteria, truth. You couldn't do it. If you did that and got caught lying, or if the nigga was to call LL Cool J a snitch, and LL Cool J was like, man, get the paperwork, you don't have it, that would have made him even worse. And in the streets, in those times, the street element was high. You did something like that, a person would have messed around and put you in the trunk. You would have been in the trunk, man. And I'm not trying to be funny. Niggas was you would have just ended up on Merck Street and nobody would have knew what happened. Because it's criteria to things. Niggas had honor and integrity. Honor and integrity was all throughout the street element, because it had to police what it had created. You understand? The street element policed hip hop with honor and integrity. I know it sounds crazy, but this is the culture.